Hi, Michael here for another Cup of Talks. Today, I have a long list of subjects I want to cover, so we'll see. Maybe it'll be a two-part episode, depending on how long-winded I get. But thanks for joining me. It's spring here, but it's cold, so the weather has been so up and down. Really warm one day, really cold the next day. I never know what to expect. I have a lot of topics to cover, so let's get started. I played last Saturday, and I was playing my large wind gong, which is still packed up. I just kind of brought everything in, and all my cases are scattered here from the gig. I played my large wind gong, and I've had it for years, and I've been playing all these gongs for years, and you think you've heard it all, you think you know it all sometimes, but I discovered this was two things, really. This new sound that came out of the gong and a new rhythm pattern with it. And they were connected together. And I was fascinated by that. It's like, this is interesting. So as things normally go, when something like that happens, I followed it. Instinctively, I'm like, I'm going with this. The sound presented itself for a reason. So I started playing with this idea. I developed this rhythm, and then this sound would sort of blossom out of the gong. I'd let it dissipate. I'd get this playing and rhythm again. The sound would appear. I'd let it fade away. And I kept doing this over and over. And it was really great because for me it was, I loved the sound, I loved the rhythm, and this repetition became very, I kind of hate the word hypnotic, but it was very soothing, and it was very hypnotic in a way. It pulled me into it. So I went with it. And then I ventured off into a little different territory for a while, and eventually came back to that sound and that rhythm and worked them again for a bit. This is typical of what I like to do. I like repetition. I think repetition does various things to us. It helps us fall into some sort of a rhythm, some sort of a sound, because it's happening over and over. And it also, I think it really helps, just kind of calm our brain down and get us into that no-think state. Maybe we're into a delta or theta or something. It can bring us down there. But I like repetition. And I also like playing for a long time. I probably played the gong for 20 minutes. Just doing this. And then when that finished, I moved, sort of segued into something different, still on the wind gong. I started playing very rhythmically and drumming on the gong and doing that. And that's just, that's how I work. It's all intuitive. I had a sort of a plan that I developed right when I was up there. It's like, I'm going to kind of do this sort of thing. And then that sound and that rhythm appeared, and it's like, plan goes right out the window, and it's like, I'm following this. It presented itself. How was I to say no? So that was an interesting adventure. Now, sort of connected to this idea of playing my session, a recent discussion on Facebook, somebody brought up in one of the gong groups about, I'm trying to think of how they put it, something like, a gong session is not a performance. Their idea being that you shouldn't be up there performing, you shouldn't be doing things or whatever. First thing is, here's a quiz for you. Define performance. Second, define gong session, or however you describe what you do or see others do. First, need to define those two things. For me, I don't bother defining them because I don't work with labels. I have to use labels in describing what I do for promotional purposes, but part of the reason I came up with the name Gongtopia was just say, it's Gongtopia. And that says it right there. So you hear the word gong in there, topia meaning many, it means many gongs. Make of it what you will. And that's my point, is I want people to make of what I do, they can decide what it is and how they take it, how they receive it. I really don't like to put labels on it, because when I'm playing these instruments, I am drawing on so many different influences. I'm drawing on literary influences. I'm drawing on visual arts. I'm drawing on science and physics. I'm drawing on astronomy. I'm drawing on speculative matters. I'm drawing on alchemy and hermeticism and Gnosticism and things like that. I'm drawing on woo-woo areas. I am drawing on birds and animals and nature and wind and trees and rivers and things like that. I'm drawing on so many different things, and I just make the sounds. Again, I don't label what I do. The people who are at my session, they can take it as a performance if they want. They can sit and watch, and people have done that, and that's fine. They can be lying there and take it as some sort of a healing session, and they might experience some sort of a healing. They can take it as a meditative session. It's up to them. I just offer the sounds. That's my deal. I offer the sounds, and you can make of it what you will. You might work differently, and that is fine. We each have to discover our own path, but that is my path. I just play these instruments. I don't worry about what it is. Obviously, I'm not going to be doing big, loud, harsh, crashy sounds and banging tons of drums like I'm at a rock concert or something like that. I always endeavor to play my instruments within the context of what the performance is. If it's a gong session, meditation session, gong bath, whatever you want to describe it as, I work within that sort of a context. If I'm playing on stage at a club, giving a solo concert performance, I work within that context. But even there, it's like you can make of what I'm doing there however you want. So anyway, enough of that. Don't label yourself. Just do what you do. Or if you want to label yourself, go ahead. It's your choice. Let's move on to the next subject. I think what's the important thing here is you need to ask yourself, why am I doing this? What makes me do this? Why am I doing this? Why am I collecting all these diverse instruments from around the world, made of mostly metal? Why am I playing them? For others. Why do I do this? That's an important question to ask yourself. And only you can come up with the answer for yourself. I'm not going to give an answer. I think if you've watched my videos or read my blogs, read my books, anything like that, you know my answer to this, but ask yourself that. Go into your room, your sound space, and kind of like look around and go, why am I doing this? I think that's a really important thing, because especially I've been in this for the long haul. I mean, I keep saying how, I've been playing drums and percussion and that for over 50 years. I mean, that's a long time. I'm sure a lot of you watching haven't even been alive that long. So I've been in this game for the long haul, to last, and I'm going to continue doing it, So I think that's an important thing, especially if you're younger. Why am I doing this? Are you trying to make money? Is that your primary driver? Do you want to be famous? Is that your primary driver? Do you want to explore the unknown of sound? Is that what drives you? Do you want to be of service to others? Is that what drives you? Or is it kind of a combination of all of them together? If you're in it for the money, good luck. And I don't think you'll be here for the long haul, if that's your goal. Nothing wrong with making money. I make money. I charge for what I do. This is what I do. I don't have another job. I just do this. So good luck if that's really your driving force. I think you should get into another field. Get into accounting or become a politician if you want to scam money or something. But no, if that's if that's what's driving you to buy bowls and gongs, it's like, I want to make money because I see an opportunity. That's the wrong way. Okay. Or if you think, I want to be famous, well, there really aren't that. There's no fame in this field, really. It's not like being a rock star or a TV star or a TikTok star or something. And even then, doing this, you're not going to play gongs and break out on the internet and go viral and get 5 million hits. You're not going to be like that. It's just not going to happen. You got to do it because you love it, really. Because you have to do it because what else are you going to do? It's you. This is me. This is why I do it. So enough of that. But ask yourself that question. I think that's really important. Why do I have this gear, whatever you have, 5 bowls and 2 gongs and a rattle, or a whole studio full of stuff like this? Ask yourself, why do I have all this gear? Why am I doing this? I'd be curious to see your answers down in the comments. Okay. Now, to sort of go along with that, why is everyone in such a hurry? I see this on various gong and sound worker groups on social media, and people will say, I just got my bowls last week and I'm practicing with them, and I'm doing my first session this Saturday. Why? Why are you in such a hurry to get out there? I'll talk about myself. I mean, when I first started playing drums, I practiced for years. And eventually, I was a teenager. Eventually, I got together with some of my friends who played guitars and bass and that, and we formed a little band. We practiced, in our basements. And we practiced for a long time. We didn't just go, let's get together and practice Tuesday and we'll play at some place on Saturday. No, we practiced and practiced and practiced. We honed our craft. We worked on what we did so that we knew how to do it in a fairly decent manner, that we had it together. Then it was like, okay, we're sounding pretty good. Let's see if we can just, we'll play at the barbecue. My parents are having a barbecue. July 30th, we can play there in the backyard. Okay, then we do something like that. Or maybe back then there was so many places to play if you had a band. I mean, there were community centers and your high school, and there were dances and all this sort of stuff going. So we just started playing things, but it wasn't like we got together as a band and a week later we were playing gigs. No. So why are you in such a hurry that you just got your set of chakra singing bowls and you got a little wind gong and you got a rain stick and you're like, I just got all this, I can't wait to play next week? It's like, to me that seems a little early. Just my opinion, and that's why I have my own channel here, so I can have my opinions. But really, I think you need to hone your craft a little more. You need to work on what you do. You need to go see other people do it. And then maybe do some stuff for friends and family and get their reaction. Because maybe you go out there and you play and people are kind of like, this is not very good, or it doesn't do anything to me. Well, you don't want that. So hone your craft. Don't be in such a hurry to get out there and play in front of others. Another part of the equation here is when you play a different instrument, you get together in a band. So you are a group. And by working with other people, it helps you develop because you can give suggestions to each other. And as a band, you can grow. I think it's much easier that way than we're solo performers. We're solo musicians. It's rare that we work with others. We might work with, like, I've worked with crystal bowl players and brought, a setup here. I've worked with other gong players. I've worked with musicians of all types. But in general, for somebody who's a sound worker, it's rare that they get to work with somebody else. So you don't have that advantage of feedback from another person that you are actively engaged with in forming, music together. We're on our own. I mean, for me, for the most part, it was me in my studio honing my craft and learning about my sounds, watching other people do this. When YouTube hit, watching people on YouTube, and really developing what I did before I felt like I have something to offer. I have something to offer that's unique. It's me. And I think it's of a sufficient quality I could go out there now and present it to the public. Only you can decide that. But again, I asked the question, and I think you should ask yourself the same question. Why am I in such a hurry to get out and play? Okay, I guess this is question edition of Cup of Talks. This is kind of important. I make these videos here on YouTube. I've made 300 or 400 of them, I don't know. And I made another 100 or so on my Patreon channel. I don't have any sponsors. Nobody's paying me for product placement. Nobody's paying me to mention anything. I have no sponsors. I'm paying my own way through this. And I think that's important. Even when I do like product reviews, and I'll have some more product reviews coming up, I generally, it's on things that I've purchased with my own money that I'm reviewing. Gongs or mallets or other instruments that I'm interested in, so I buy them. And then I play them and use them. So when I do a review, it's because I put out my own money to get this gong or this product or whatever. But a problem I see, I watch a lot of YouTube, probably more than I should, but there's a lot of good information out there, and you can really educate yourself on things. But unfortunately, lately, a lot of my favorite YouTubers seem to become shills for product. It's really a shame. People that I respect their opinions, and I really like their channel, and I love the information that they're giving, but they seem to suddenly, it's like they keep pushing certain things over and over. And maybe, maybe the company's sending them stuff, new microphones, new cameras, who knows, whatever, which is okay. I mean, hey, if there's any company out there that wants to send me gongs, mallets, shakers, rattles, bowls, any related items, go ahead. I'll do a review. I'll do an honest review. And if it's crap, I'll say it's crap. Send them to me. I mean, I'm not against that. But yeah, I don't want to be paid by any sponsor. And if you send me something, don't expect me to be like falling all over your product and mentioning it, like, oh, I just got sent, where is it here? I don't have, they're packed up. Just some of the mallets I use. I use specific mallets from specific companies. I love them. I will talk about them because I love them, not because this company is paying me. It's like, I've been a long time endorser. I'm not even sure if I'm still an endorser of Mike Balter mallets. Mike Balter, I used to be the premier mallet maker in the world, and the company made the mallets for everybody else practically, and they would put their label and sticker on them. And they made all the mallets for Zildjian. So when Mike retired, he sold the company to Zildjian. And in all the rigmarole, I don't know, I used to get their endorser things, emails and whatever. I haven't got one in ages. I don't know. I've probably sort of dropped off their endorser roles, which is fine. But Mike Balter, I used to get free mallets from Mike, but I loved his mallets, and I played Balter mallets before I got an endorsement. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go see which company is going to give me an endorsement, and then I'll play their mallets. I love the Balter mallets, and it just so happened we connected, and he liked the stuff I was doing, especially because they didn't have anybody playing these instruments on their roster, so I was fortunate enough to become an endorser, and I'd get so many mallets a year, and he would also give me new mallet models to try out and experiment with and that. And I would talk about them, but not because it's like I'm getting paid or because they were giving me mallets, but I generally like the Balter mallets, and I still have boxes and boxes of Balter mallets here, and I still use them. Here we go. Here's a couple examples, marimba mallet and the cymbal mallet. I still use Balter mallets. They're my primary small mallet. But anyway, when I review things, it's an honest review, and nobody's paying me. But so many of my favorite YouTubers just seem to be shilling product now, and it's really a shame. It's tainted their channels to me. So I just want you to know I'm never going to become like a shill, okay? And if you don't know, everybody should know because I've said it before. I am a Peisty endorser, but you don't see me just saying buy Peisty gongs or Peisty on every video. I think the best advertisement is that I use them, and I use them all the time, and I have lots of them. I think a better endorsement of a product is the music I make with them and the fact that I have them, rather than me trying to shove Peisty down your throats. I mean, I just can't do that. I play them because I love the gongs. I've played Peisty since I was a young tadpole, since I was a teenager. So we have a long history together. But that's endorsements and that's shilling. So yeah, all you people out there who are shilling product, just stop. Please stop doing that. Or else stop watching your channels because it just gets kind of ridiculous.